What ski resort has been awarded the best on the planet multiple times, features 233 kilometres of pistes, and lets you ski down the same terrain as the greatest skiers of all time? That would be Kitzski at Kitzbühel, and it's been sitting on my bucket list for over a decade. I still remember sitting in a ski lodge at Mount Buller back in 2015, flipping through a magazine article about this Austrian resort steeped in skiing history. Back then, I never imagined I'd find myself standing at the base of the Hahnenkamm in February 2025, about to spend 2 days exploring what SkiResort.Info ranked as number 1 out of their 6,000 global resorts based on public voting. After riding everything from the Australian Alps, Lake Tahoe, Hokkaido's Best Powder, Utah's Cottonwood Canyons, to other major Austrian resorts, I approach every world's best claim with healthy skepticism. But after 2 days at Kitzski, I have to say, I believe it. This might truly be the most complete ski resort experience on the planet when you factor in terrain variety, infrastructure, village atmosphere, and that intangible European alpine magic that makes you feel like you're starring in your own ski film. Today, I'm taking you through my complete assessment of Kitzski, from the technical terrain stats to the practical realities of planning a trip here. If you've skied the European Alps before, drop a comment comparing your experiences. I'm curious to hear how my experience at Kitzski compares to the mega resorts of France and Switzerland, as they are also on my ski bucket list. If this review helps with your trip planning, hit that like button and subscribe for more Austrian resort breakdowns. Before we jump in, I want to say thank you to the Kitzbühel tourism team who hooked me up with my lift tickets so I could explore this resort. So with that, let's get into it. Kitzski operates on a scale that puts most resorts to shame. We're talking 15,694 acres of terrain, which I calculated online and includes all of the backcountry terrain in and around the resort and its villages. What's more important is the inbounds rideable terrain, which alone covers 233 kilometres of pistes across 96 marked trails, serviced by 58 lifts ranging from magic carpets to Austria's first tri-cable 3S gondola. The vertical drop covers 1,230 metres from the 1,992 metre summit down to the 762 metre base elevation. What impressed me most wasn't just the scale, it was how intelligently the terrain is laid out across multiple mountain faces, creating distinct zones that never feel crowded despite the global fame this resort has. This isn't a resort you'll conquer in a day or even a week. I spent 2 full days here and barely scratched the surface, which honestly made me want to book another trip before I'd even left. Who knows, maybe I might end up back there again in 2026, as it's just that exceptional. The terrain variety across different elevations and aspects means you could ski here for a month and still discover new runs. The resort connects multiple villages and mountain faces through an intricate lift network that functions more like a sophisticated transportation system than traditional ski lifts. Each zone offers different character, from the historic Hahnenkamm face above Kitzbühel to the more modern terrain accessed via the tri-cable gondola. What sets Kitzski apart from other large European resorts is how seamlessly everything connects. You're never stuck in one area or forced to take long traverses to access different terrain. The lift system is designed to keep you skiing, not walking or skating across flat sections. The attention to detail extends beyond just terrain and lifts. Everything from signage to trail maintenance reflects decades of refinement, creating an experience that feels polished rather than overwhelming, despite the resort's enormous scale. Here's where Kitzski really surprised me. When 54% of a resort is graded for beginners, you might expect short, boring runs tucked away in some corner. Not here. These blue runs, equivalent to our green runs in Australia and North America, are some of the longest, widest, and most enjoyable beginner terrain I've encountered anywhere. Take the 25 Fleck run, which drops from the top of the Fleckalmbahn all the way to the base near Kirchberg. It's a proper top-to-bottom cruiser that's north-facing, so it holds snow beautifully throughout the season. In the afternoon when the snow softens up, you can really open up the turns and get some speed happening. I watch plenty of intermediate skiers lapping this run just for the pure joy of it. What sets Kitzski apart for beginners is the 10 free lifts spread across major base areas. In an era where skiing feels like a constant cash grab, seeing a resort provide free access for newcomers to build confidence before buying a full pass is refreshing. It's a level of thoughtfulness you don't see often, especially at resorts of this caliber. The beginner terrain isn't relegated to boring practice slopes either. Many of these runs offer the same spectacular alpine views and varied terrain that makes skiing addictive. The pitches are gentle enough for learning, but the length and width give you room to progress and gain confidence without feeling confined to a small learning area. If you're planning to learn skiing anywhere in the world, I'd seriously consider Kitzski. With this much quality beginner terrain, you'd progress from first-timer to intermediate within a week. The infrastructure supports learning without the intimidation factor you get at more extreme resorts, where beginners are clearly an afterthought. The quality extends to the lift access as well. Unlike many resorts where beginner terrain is served by older, slower lifts, Kitzski provides modern, comfortable access to learning areas. This attention to the complete experience, not just the terrain itself, shows why the resort consistently ranks at the top of global lists. The intermediate terrain at Kitzski is where the resort shows its true character. The best intermediate riding sits in the back sections around the Restaurhöhe and 2000er lifts, marked as F and G on the trail map. That 2000er lift is a heated 8-person chair that delivers you to terrain with plenty of options, both on and off the marked runs. But the crown jewel has to be runs 21 and 22, which wind down the main mountain high above Kitzbühel town. Here's the thing that gives you goosebumps. These pistes actually form part of the famous Streif downhill course. There aren't many places in the world where recreational skiers can experience the same terrain that hosts the most dangerous downhill race on the planet. Standing at the top of that section, looking down the fall line where champions like Franz Klammer and Axel Lund Svindal have launched themselves at 140 plus kilometres per hour, puts your own skiing into perspective. The pitch is manageable for confident intermediates, but knowing the history adds a layer of excitement to every turn. The grooming standards here are exceptional. Even after fresh snowfall, the piste preparation is flawless, a level of precision that reflects Austria's obsession with skiing perfection. These aren't just maintained slopes, they're works of art that get reset every single night. What impressed me about the intermediate terrain is the variety within each run. Unlike some resorts where blue runs can feel monotonous, Kitzski's intermediate trails incorporate pitch changes, natural features, and terrain variations that keep you engaged for the entire descent. The longer runs particularly shine in this regard. You'll encounter different snow conditions, terrain aspects, and challenges within a single run. The interconnected nature of the intermediate terrain means you can spend entire days exploring different zones without repeating runs. Each area has its own character, from the wide open bowls to more tree-lined descents, giving intermediate skiers the chance to develop different skills and preferences. While advanced terrain represents the smallest percentage, what's here packs serious punch. The C1 lift area concentrates 6 different advanced runs into one efficient vertical pod. With 524 metres of consistent vertical and an advanced 8-person chair for quick laps, it's perfectly designed for progression and repetition. The standout here is hanging right when you start on the 23 piste to access the number 90 piste. A marked freeride run with powder rollers that provides a nice break from the groomed steep terrain. It's proper backcountry riding within the resort boundary, something you don't find everywhere. The terrain here flows naturally, with features that challenge your line choice and technique. I made the mistake of exploring the tree lines under the D6 lift without really knowing the area. The 4 line looks incredible from the chair, but we got completely lost in dense scrub and had to hike our way out. Even when you think you've found your way back to marked terrain, you can end up deeper in the woods. The riding was fantastic, but unless you know these areas well, stick to the marked runs. What makes the advanced terrain special at Kitzski is the technical variety. You're not just dealing with steep pitches. These runs incorporate moguls, varied snow conditions, and terrain features that demand different skiing techniques. The C1 area particularly excels at providing consecutive runs that each present unique challenges. The advanced terrain integrates seamlessly with the intermediate zones, allowing mixed ability groups to ski together while everyone finds appropriate challenges. This thoughtful trail design means advanced skiers aren't isolated on remote mountain faces, but can easily rejoin friends on more moderate terrain. The maintenance and safety standards on advanced terrain match the rest of the resort. Even the steepest runs receive attention to hazard marking and snow condition management, though they maintain their technical character. It's challenging skiing with professional oversight, which builds confidence for tackling more demanding terrain. That perfect moment when the powder flies above your head. The adrenaline rush of getting a new top speed on a freshly groomed piste. The breathtaking alpine views that are so good that you have to show your mum. Some moments are too extraordinary not to share. But here's the reality of mountain connectivity. This icon shows up a lot. Unless you've got Roamless and their eSIMs. I live streamed the SkiWorld Championships from Saalbach Hinterglemm, sent real-time videos from the top of Hintertux Glacier, and video called my mum from the gondola at Kitzbühel just to show her the view. With Roamless, I'm always connected to the fastest local networks, so I can share every incredible moment instantly. The app even tells me when I'm running low. Topping up takes seconds, and I can do it from a chairlift. Because what's the point of taking an epic ski adventure if there's no one to share it with? Use code SNOWSTASH for $5 USD free credit. Roamless and their eSIMs. Share the world wherever you are. Kitzski takes freestyle and freeride seriously, offering dedicated infrastructure for both disciplines that goes well beyond what you'd find at most resorts. The terrain park sits in the Resterhöhe section of the resort, accessible via the G5 lift, and features an impressive setup with 18 kickers, 7 rails, 10 boxes, 7 jibs, and special features that are perfectly shaped to bring out creativity in every visitor to the Kitzski Hanglarm Snowpark. While I didn't make it over to the terrain park during my visit, the scale and variety of features suggests this is a serious freestyle destination rather than an afterthought. Having 18 different kickers alone means progression opportunities for riders at every level, from small confidence builders to serious airtime jumps for advanced park riders. For freeride skiers, Kitzski offers yellow marked trails throughout the resort. These are backcountry terrain that should only be attempted by riders with proper knowledge, equipment, and ideally avalanche safety gear. These marked freeride zones are found across all parts of the resort and typically connect major terrain areas down into the valleys, providing legitimate backcountry style riding within resort boundaries. The number 90 piste that I mentioned earlier stands out as the most accessible marked freeride zone since it connects back to the base of the C1 lift. This makes it perfect for testing your backcountry skills without committing to longer traverses or more remote terrain. The powder rollers and natural features provide a taste of what proper freeride skiing offers. Two standout features deserve special mention: the ski film racetrack and the aerial bag setup. The ski film system is common across European resorts, but still feels magical. You start in a proper start gate, wait for the timer beep, then try your hand at slalom racing while being timed and filmed. It's great fun for every rider, not just kids, and gives you a taste of what racing actually feels like. The aerial bag was the only setup I encountered during my Austrian travels, and it's not only extremely fun, but completely free. We all see professional park riders throwing backflips and massive jumps, but the risk and consequence keeps most riders away from serious park features. With the airbag set up at Kitzski, you can attempt tricks knowing that even if you don't land properly, you'll just bounce off a giant inflatable cushion. Once you try it, you can ride the magic carpet back up and do it all over again. This was honestly a highlight of my entire Kitzski experience and something I'd never encountered at other resorts. The longest rideable vertical at Kitzski reaches 1,197 metres, found on the Kitzbühel Hornside on the northern part of the resort. This descent offers a completely different character from the main Hahnenkamm face, with more varied terrain and fewer crowds. The Hornside is the quieter part of the overall resort due to its isolated aspect. The most significant vertical descent for most visitors starts from the summit, accessed by the B1, B4, and B5 lifts. From here, you can take the 36 piste down to connect with the famous 21 run. beginning your journey toward Kitzbühel town. This route opens up 1,018 metres of vertical and includes those spine-tingling sections of the Streif downhill track where racing history was made. What makes this descent special isn't just the racing connection, it's the complete alpine experience. You start in high alpine terrain with expansive views across the Austrian Alps, then transition through varied pitch and terrain as you work your way down toward the village. The upper sections offer wide, flowing turns, while the lower portions become more technical and interesting. The other major vertical playground is the 25 piste from the summit of the Fleckarmbahn gondola down to the base, offering 972 metres of continuous descent. This run showcases everything great about Austrian piste design, perfectly maintained grooming, logical fall lines, and enough variety to keep you engaged for the entire descent. Its north-facing orientation means reliable snow conditions throughout the season. The lift system at Kitzski represents the cutting edge of mountain transport technology. The headline feature is Austria's first tri-cable gondola, a 30-person 3S system that moves 4,200 passengers per hour across the valley, connecting Hahnenkamm, Pengelstein and Jochberg in just 9 minutes. Some cabins feature glass floors for valley views that eliminate the need for shuttle buses between resort sections. The 58-lift network includes an aerial tramway serving Kitzbühel Horn, 7 modern 8-person high-speed chairs with weather protection and heated seats, plus various 6-person and 4-person chairs. The system is completed by surface lifts and 10 people movers, including moving carpets for learning areas. This isn't just about quantity, it's about intelligent placement and modern technology. What impressed me most was the efficiency. Despite the resort's massive scale and popularity, I rarely encountered significant lift queues. The combination of high-capacity lifts and intelligent terrain distribution keeps crowds flowing smoothly throughout the mountain. Even on busy days, the system moves people effectively without creating bottlenecks. The heated chairlifts deserve special mention. When you're spending long days on the mountain in Austrian winter conditions, having warm seats and weather protection makes a noticeable difference to comfort levels. These aren't luxury touches. They're practical features that extend your skiing day and improve the overall experience. Kitzski typically receives 4 to 7 metres of natural snowfall during the winter season, supported by 1,160 snowmaking machines spread across the resort. The season runs from early November through mid-April, with peak conditions between January and early March. The combination of natural snowfall and extensive snowmaking infrastructure means reliable conditions throughout the season, even during drier periods. The grooming standards here set the global benchmark. Every morning, the pistes are immaculately prepared with a precision that reflects generations of Austrian skiing culture. Even the most challenging runs receive attention that transforms them into perfect corduroy while maintaining their technical character. It's not just maintenance, it's artistry applied to snow preparation. What impressed me most was how the grooming team manages to maintain character in each run while ensuring safety and skiability. Steep sections retain their challenge without becoming dangerous, while gentler areas receive treatment that creates perfect learning conditions. This level of attention extends across the entire 233 kilometres of pistes, representing a nightly effort that most skiers never fully appreciate but definitely benefit from. Daily lift passes range from 66 to 80 euros for adults and 33 to 40 euros for children. A 5-day pass costs 350 euros, 410 US dollars or 625 Australian dollars, which is exceptionally reasonable compared to major resorts in the United States or Australia, where daily passes regularly exceed $250 in their local currency. When you break down the cost per kilometre of terrain or per lift accessed, Kitzski offers incredible value. When you consider what you're accessing, the terrain variety, lift infrastructure, grooming standards, and resort facilities, the value proposition is outstanding. This is world-class skiing at prices that won't require a second mortgage. The pricing structure also rewards longer stays, with multi-day passes offering better per-day rates that encourage extended visits. Comparing these prices to what I've paid at major North American resorts, Kitzski delivers significantly more value. You're getting access to one of the world's most sophisticated lift networks, terrain that includes actual racing pistes, and infrastructure that represents decades of investment and refinement. The fact that features like the aerial bag are included at no extra cost adds to the overall value equation. The pricing transparency is also refreshing. What you see is what you pay, without the hidden fees, surge pricing, or complex variable rate structures that have become common elsewhere. This straightforward approach to pricing reflects the European attitude towards skiing as an accessible sport rather than an exclusive luxury experience. Kitzski sits in the eastern Tyrol region, 100 kilometres from Innsbruck, 1 hour 20 minutes drive, and 80 kilometres from Salzburg, just over an hour. The closest major international airport is Munich at 127 kilometres, roughly 1.5 hours by car. The resort's location in the heart of the Austrian Alps provides easy access to multiple transportation options while maintaining that authentic alpine atmosphere. For train travel, you can reach the area from Salzburg in 2 hours, Munich in 1 hour 50 minutes, or Innsbruck in 1.5 hours. All journeys require a transfer at Wörgl before the final connection to Kitzbühel, but the Austrian train system is efficient and punctual. There are stations in both Kirchberg and Kitzbühel. For the main resort access, get off at Kitzbühel Hahnenkamm Bahnhof. The train journey itself offers spectacular alpine scenery that builds anticipation for your skiing adventure. Driving to the resort is straightforward on well-maintained Austrian highways, though winter driving conditions require proper preparation. The roads are consistently cleared and maintained, but having winter tyres or chains is essential during snow conditions. The drive from Munich takes you through beautiful Bavarian and Austrian countryside, making the journey part of the experience rather than just transportation. Parking is available at major base areas, but fills quickly during peak periods, so arriving early is essential. The Fleckalmbahn offers both indoor and outdoor parking that's free and provides direct gondola access to the main resort areas. Other base areas charge for parking, with rates that reflect the premium nature of the destination, but remain reasonable compared to resort parking elsewhere. The resort's accessibility extends beyond just getting there. The infrastructure within the skiing area eliminates the need for cars once you arrive. The lift system and village layout mean you can access everything on foot or via the resort's transportation network. This car-free environment during your stay adds to the alpine experience and reduces the stress of navigating mountain roads daily. You're looking at accommodation that reflects Kitzski's status as the world's top-rated resort. In Kitzbühel itself, expect to pay 250 to 550 euros per night, 300 to 650 USD, or 450 to 1,000 Australian dollars for a week-long stay. During the Hahnenkamm race in late January, multiply those rates by 2 or 3. The premium pricing reflects not just the resort's reputation, but also the limited supply of accommodation in this historic alpine town. I stayed in Kirchberg in Tyrol at Hotel Metzgerwirt, right in the village centre and walking distance to everything local. Accommodation here runs 110 euros per night, which is about 130 USD or 200 AUD, significantly more affordable than Kitzbühel proper.
Wrapped up my first ski day at Kitzbühel, and so this is the hotel I'm staying at. It's the Hotel Metzgerwirt. I just had a drink at the bar, and now I'm going to get out and explore Kirchberg, which is where I'm staying. It is just across the other side of Kitzbühel from the mountain, but it is connected via the ski resort. And I'm going to go find some dinner because I'm starving.
The trade-off is that you're not walking distance to major lifts, but shuttle buses run regularly from Kirchberg Centre to the Meierlbahn and Fleckalmbahn gondolas. The buses are free and operating consistently to get you from your accommodation to the lifts, which means the savings on accommodation can pay off. Both villages are some of the most charming mountain towns I've encountered anywhere. Kirchberg translates roughly to mountain church in English, and that church becomes the heart of evening village life. After spending my first day exploring the mountain, I wandered through Kirchberg looking for dinner and stumbled upon a perfect little pizza place tucked away in the village centre. The food was excellent, but what happened afterward made the evening magical. Walking back through the village after dinner, I heard the church bells beginning to ring across the valley. Standing in the village square, as those ancient bells echoed through the village, was a pinch yourself moment that reminded me why alpine skiing culture is about so much more than just the skiing. Kirchberg maintains that authentic Austrian atmosphere without feeling like a tourist theme park. I explored Kitzbühel on a Sunday afternoon after riding, not realizing that Sunday is truly a day of rest in Austria. Nothing was open, but walking through the medieval village with coffee in hand, taking in the architecture and atmosphere, reminded me that what you can do off the slopes is just as important as the skiing itself. The town oozes history and alpine culture, with buildings that have housed skiers and mountain enthusiasts for centuries. The village experiences differ significantly between the two locations. Kitzbühel offers sophisticated dining, high-end shopping, and a more cosmopolitan atmosphere that reflects its status as a global skiing destination. Kirchberg provides a more intimate, local experience where you feel like you're staying in a real Austrian mountain community rather than a resort town. Both have their appeal, depending on what type of après-ski experience you're seeking. This resort works for everyone, but it particularly shines for beginners and intermediate riders who want to experience European skiing culture at its finest. When I say everyone, I truly mean it. Kitzski has created an environment where every skill level finds not just appropriate terrain, but terrain that excites and challenges them appropriately. Beginners will find exceptional learning terrain and infrastructure that goes far beyond typical resort offerings. That 54% of terrain graded for beginners isn't just boring practice slopes tucked away in corners. These are long, scenic runs that provide the kind of skiing experience that creates lifelong addictions to the sport. The free lift access for newcomers and the quality of beginner terrain means you could learn to ski here and never feel like you're getting a lesser experience than more advanced riders. Intermediate skiers could easily spend a week here and never repeat the same run twice. With 35% of the mountain dedicated to intermediate terrain, plus the ability to explore easier sections of advanced runs, the variety is almost overwhelming. The grooming standards mean every intermediate run feels perfectly maintained, while the terrain variety ensures you're constantly developing different skills and experiencing new challenges. While advanced and expert terrain represents a smaller percentage of the mountain, what's available delivers quality over quantity. But here's the key insight about Kitzski. You don't visit purely for extreme terrain. You come for the complete ski trip experience that combines quality terrain with cultural immersion, historical significance, and that intangible alpine atmosphere that makes European skiing special. The resort excels at accommodating mixed ability groups, which is often the biggest challenge in ski trip planning. Families with different skill levels, friend groups with varying experience, or couples where one person is more advanced. Everyone finds terrain that suits their abilities while staying connected throughout the day. The intelligent trail design means groups can separate for runs that match their comfort levels, then easily reunite for shared experiences. This comprehensive approach to catering for all abilities while maintaining world-class standards across every aspect of the resort experience is what sets Kitzski apart. It's not just about having terrain for everyone. It's about making sure everyone feels like they're getting a premium experience, regardless of their skill level. After 2 days at Kitzski, I understand why it consistently ranks as the world's best ski resort. It's not just one element, it's how everything comes together. The terrain variety keeps you engaged, the lift system eliminates frustration, the grooming sets global standards, and the villages provide that authentic alpine atmosphere you can't manufacture. This is expensive skiing in Austrian standards. However, when you compare it to the United States or Australia, it's a bargain. But it's also the kind of experience that reminds you why you fell in love with the sport in the first place. Whether you're carving perfect turns on immaculately groomed pistes or picking your way down sections of the Streif, Kitzski delivers moments that justify every dollar spent getting here. If you've skied the European Alps, I'd love to hear how you think Kitzski compares to other major resorts. And if this review has inspired you to start planning a trip, hit that subscribe button for more Austrian resort breakdowns coming throughout the season. Once again, thank you to the amazing team at Kitzbühel Tourism for giving me access to the resort. I can't wait to come back and experience the resort for more than 2 days. Thanks for watching. Ciao.